if you have been keeping up with everything going on with Candace Owens, it has been remarkable to say the least. Yesterday on Candace Owens' podcast, she got extremely triggered, and I know she likes to throw that term around every now and then. I've heard her use it. You got triggered, and that can be triggering to some people. I know we all sometimes fall on our heels and get in defensive mode, posture, or whatever. And we saw that explicitly yesterday in Candace Owens' podcast. I want to be I'm going to be as charitable as possible. I don't care what everybody else thinks. I'm going to keep my Christian composure, my grace-oriented mindset whenever I analyze anything. And I think what Candace Owens got triggered by is really what's behind it all is Matt Walsh. He is the guy who, because he's coming at it with so many reasonable points, and this is the thing underlying everything, what's going behind of driving her towards like almost a little bit of insanity. Because we have not seen this yet. And all of the things that Candace has talked about, Matt Walsh bringing up Erica Kirk and challenging her on this and saying that some of the points you're making, it's just this smear campaign because I have been like, why is Erica Kirk not bringing lawsuit charges? I've thought about this a lot. Because I'm like, maybe as a Christian, that's not maybe the best thing to do against another Christian. It talks about in the Bible that you shouldn't do that at times. I know there's a lot that can go into that, so maybe that's behind it. But really, Matt Walsh, from a real person's point of view, a public figure's point of view, the person doesn't have a good chance of winning going into that, because you got to prove that they had malicious intent when they were making these accusations, and which is very hard to do. And then it's also broadcasting all of these accusations, false accusations that Candace Owens is making. But we're going to take a look at a couple clips of Candace Owens' show yesterday and what set her off. And she starts it off with Erica Kirk about her being maybe raised in a cult family, which, I mean, if that was true at all, I mean, wouldn't you have a little grace towards that, as opposed to she's immediately evil for that?
And it's getting really interesting in terms of me just wanting to learn a bit more about this cult. Like, they said that they had said it's plausible that Erica could have been raised in this. And they said there's certain things that they learn, and the saying, God bless you. And that's the whole child of God thing. It's like you are saying certain things, the Lord this, the Lord that. And so I wanted to make sure, as I always do, that I'm doing a thorough examination and having these conversations. And I'm just making a lot of research right now, because it feels like it was just a random area that I didn't expect, or I guess a random clue or hint that I didn't expect to stumble upon. And it gets even deeper than that. I didn't know that there was a connection between the family or that's how they rebranded, the Family International, and Epstein. So
So she's talking about, like, she wants to be as thorough as possible in vetting Erica Kirk, which I don't see that at all. It seems like overall she's been extremely, if it comes into, I'm going to take anything, the next tweet that might prove my theory, my fabricated theory that's in Candace's head, she just runs with it and just shotgun blasts it to everyone so they see it. And then she goes in, then starts investigating, was what I just said correct? I don't think she's concerned with truth at all. And the only thing that's having her set back about this is because people are pushing back. And Matt Walsh I think he is the linchpin. He is the person that is hurting her credibility the most, because he comes at it with such an analytical, logical mind, a man's mind, and which we can see that she just, when she's talking about go chop wood, men, take away the microphones from men, women should be the only ones gossiping. Men, we shouldn't be gossiping in the first place. I don't know why she goes there. But women should be the only ones talking. Men, go do something useful. Go chop some wood. Which she says, make me a sandwich sometimes. And I think it's more, is that what she wants men to do for her? All right, so this next clip we're going to take a look at. And you can see that she's just getting extremely triggered over all of this.
And then there's an account on X that shares audio of something that's not Erica, which we did not share. And then they just all start, see, investigation over. Somebody got something wrong, so nobody should be looking into Erica. It's like, that is just, I can't deal with that sort of obvious social manipulation. Like, why don't you respond to what I did? Why don't you respond to what I said? Why don't you go point from point? Why don't you sit down and debate me? If anybody would like to with a platform who makes videos about,
Matt Walsh has said that he wants to debate her. I've seen Steven Crowder wants to debate her. These are very high-profile people that have said that. I have not seen Candace Owens debate anyone. She's saying this now. She's putting that out there, but I don't think anything's going to come to fruition. She only brings on people that say the same things that she wants to hear over and over.
Me would like to actually sit down, or especially people at Turning Point, like I keep saying, and your best get is basically like an I'm with her campaign. Like Hillary Clinton's a woman, so she, let's leave her alone. Who cares if there's some bodies? Who cares what happened in Haiti? That doesn't work.
This whole idea of debating Candace, I think anybody that just came with it, I mean, if you don't know really anything, you can't speak or at all, just come in with it just with a gracious, logical mind, anything that she's put out there could be refuted. She's over and over and it's this manufactured rage that she's getting upset because she knows that her viewpoints are being challenged. What she has said doesn't make any sense. That's why she's moved on past Erica Kirk, and now she's saying, oh, we just want to vet these things more thoroughly. We don't want to put anything out there that's wrong. So we're going to move on to something else, where she did a whole thing about Bride of Charlie. Nothing was there. We cannot forget that. And I know the people that are so diehard for Candace Owens, that everything she says is gospel truth. I'm wrong at times. People can be wrong at times, and she doesn't, she's just going with these ideas, these conceived notions that are in her head that she's just trying to believe herself. I don't think she believes a lick of it. But she makes it seem like she believes it. But she can almost force herself temporarily to believe it for an instant. But what you really believe is what you really stand on, what you live by. And if you're just going to move past this and not retract about everything you've said before, it doesn't make sense. There's not really any credibility there. There's my arm again. Everyone in here, you can always see my arm every now and then. That's
you're all
stuff.
A bunch of frauds. You're all a bunch of frauds, and you dishonor Charlie Kirk every day while you pretend that you're honoring him by putting a bubble around his widow, who is not acting like a widow at all. Okay? What is she supposed to do? Cry every... Yeah, actually. Yeah, I do. You know what? I would be...
That sounds so messed up. Can you, in your regular life, say there's a woman in your church, she loses her husband, and you're just analyzing her so intently. Are you crying enough? Not to mention that it's when we see Erica Kirk, it's on a camera. If you're on a camera, you act a little bit different. It's hard to act extremely who you are exactly, because you're aware that people are watching you from every angle. So, imagine you just in regular life, say a woman has her husband die, and then you're saying, you're not crying every second that you're in front of me. It's not tethered to reality at all.
Okay, with somebody who cried every day for a bit after their husband died. What kind of a question is that? Why are you gaslighting us like it's weird that we expect a widow to meaningfully want to stay home and crawl up and cry every day after they lose their husband?
If she was doing that, how would we see that? We would not see where she's at by herself with her and God in her prayer room, in her prayer closet, just every night. We don't know if she's drenching her pillow with tears. We don't know we see when she's on camera. Do you not understand that? Do you not see that? To just expect someone every time they go on the camera to be in crying mode. And then even at the beginning when she was crying, people were questioning that every second and just making fun of that and say, oh, she was putting teardrops in her eyes. It was all created and she was making it up. She was acting. She has a background of performance, but that doesn't mean that she's not a real person. Erica Kirk is a real person that has real emotions, but either way, she can't win no matter what.
Again, it's where are the humans? They're well, what do you want her to do? Cry because her husband died? Sorry, I don't even have my hair in a bunch today. I was I just got fired up about that.
And then she'll always turn it back to, you could see that Candace was extremely triggered right there. And I think what is behind it is Matt Walsh, because him coming to it. And then over the weekend, people whoever put out that video that just said that it was Erica Kirk grooming underage people to, just of having that a part of her life that because she's done ministry with countries in parts of the world, and she's saying Romania, because there's this sex trafficking ring that's happening over there. You're adjacent to all these things that are happening around you. I mean, excuse me, what do we do? Like, every person that's in the Catholic Church, I know there's been a history of, pedophilia, whatever it's called, pedophilia. I'm not going to get on Candace about mispronouncing things. That's something I will not get, because I do that myself. So I'm not going to say that. But get on the Catholic Church about pedophilia, that everyone that's a Catholic, because you're adjacent to that that is on you as well. That doesn't make any sense at all. People are in regular life. As a Christian, we should try to go into any part of our life, anywhere, and be as gracious as possible. Believe all things, hope all things. If someone tells you something, that you take them at their word. That's the love aspect. You're not immediately just scrutinize them, like, and thinking that they're doing something evil or wrong, or just projecting onto them. Because I would say this. I want to say this about the pedophilia thing, because I know people, that actually makes me a little bit happy that as a society that the American culture is so against that, because there's so many things that have been thrown out the window with, transgenderism, homosexuality, that we've just accept and just, put forward as like, it's the American dream. It's the way that people should be. But with pedophilia, people are like, it seems like we haven't devolved down into that where we just accept that. It seemed like for a time back in the early 2000s, I remember with whatever it's called, NAMBLA or whatever, this North American Man-Boy Association thing, Man-Boy Love Association, it seemed like we were going down that route. I'm glad that we've pulled back to say that, yes, that is evil and wrong. We should condemn it. But to just blanket, like, say that everyone that disagrees with me, that doesn't, like, share my point of view, my opinion, labeling them a pedophilia person, like, because she has done that. I think about with Graham Allen, she did that because because he said things that, like, crossed her. She just immediately labeled him a pedo, and it's like, that's not showing any grace at all, because somebody disagrees with them, that you're just going to accuse them of something that makes no sense and has no evidence there. And it's kind of disgusting at times that this is where it devolves to. But Candace does that over and over repeatedly, and she got triggered about this about what's going on with Erica Kirk and everybody seeing her, the lies that she's putting forward, and with this whole pedophilia thing. It's like that's almost like the shield that she is putting in front of her. It comes out as a manufactured rage that she's upset, and she gets the people that listen to her, that are diehard supporters, to be upset. You're in a mode of, I need to be angry and outraged and pissed off about everything, and these guys are just evil. This woman is evil, and instead of extending charity to someone. And I try to be as charitable as possible with everything, even Candace Owens, when I'm analyzing what she's doing. But there has to be a time where we stand up, and say, like, you gotta, what you're doing is wrong. We're calling it out. And she just has such a big mic. She has a big influence over so many people that I think if we just sat back and just let her roll with, especially if you're blanket libeling people and just ruining their reputation. Which, I mean, I think if we want to have ministry over in different countries across the world, that's a good thing. If we're going into the darkest places on this planet and trying to bring the light of Christ, that's a good thing. Not because you're adjacent to that, you're close to where all this evil is happening, that you're evil. That would be like calling Jesus evil because he ate and drank with tax collectors and sinners. He spent time with them. He was with them. He did life with them. He, in the worst parts of what was called the forgotten people there, the ones that were the sinners. They're the sinners. And I think that is what, like, I think over and over in my life, what I see what the devil does, he takes the most good, the best, the things that are the most pure and good and wholesome, and he loves to flip it and turn it upside on its head and make it evil. And just destroy people. I've had it in my own life. I find that, like, things that I go and I want to do something good, that's where the devil attacks me the most and just really screws me up. really messes me up because he doesn't want me to step out and doing what's good. He wants me to sit back and just take it in my face or whatever. And just, he wants to, like, because if he sees you stepping out trying to do what's right, he wants to put a stop to that. And Erica Kirk doing things in her life, not to mention she grew up in a family that's a cult or whatever. If she was, it's like, wouldn't you extend grace to that person? You're being raised in it, like at least that part of your life. I don't think where she's even taken all this. I think it's bull. It's not. There's nothing really there. It's just she's making it up. Of course, everybody has messed up lives. There are things that we do that are not great. There are things that our family does that's not great. It doesn't mean that we're irredeemable, you know? So the bottom line, what's going on is Matt Walsh has put out there, he wants to debate her. He wants to talk through this. Let's actually see it, because Candace is saying it as well, but let's see if that actually happens. I'll debate you, Candace. I'll talk about through this as well, because a lot of the points that you're making it's not standing on really anything firm. It's just gossip, making things up, and just causing masses of people to believe it because you want to get them enraged. Manufactured rage, repeat. It's on repeat. All right, we'll leave it at that. Let me know, drop a comment. Let me know what you think about Candace Owens. Let me know if you think I'm right or what you believe about what is all happening right here. We'll leave it at that. Have a good day, everyone.